is what you got for me.
Durag Diaries, yo, what's good, people? Welcome. Whoa, why is the camera not focusing? What's going on over here? This is not. Where is? Sorry, I'm trying to find something. Let's give this camera a little clean. What's going on, man? What's going? The sabotage has begun already. What's going? Whoa. All right, let's zoom out a bit. Is it? Can you guys see me clearly, or is this mad blurry right now, fam? Just like there's something covering my. All right, let's we're going out then coming back in. We're running the intro back because I don't know what's going on, but I know it's gonna help. It's gonna help. Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're running the quick intro again. Direct. What is going on today? It's mad blur, bro. It's crazy stuff. I've been sabotaged because why is there mad blur on my camera? What is going on, bruv? Why has someone got to sabotage me? Durag Diaries, bruv. I can't believe what's going on right now. This is just gonna throw me off all stream, bruv. Man's super blurry. I can get loud all of that, bruv. Brother, do you know what? Let's come out. We're gonna go out the stream. We're gonna come back again. Leave the. Do you know what? We're gonna ignore the camera quality because it's crazy. It's actually crazy right now. I don't know what's going on. It can't be connection. It generally is just the cameras choosing to not work today, which is strange. But hey, look, we do have a match preview. Oh, now the cameras. People are on a sabotage thing today. People are on the sabotaging thing today. And it's gonna go mad. Yeah. Oh, now you man have got a new camera angle. And then we go back to... I think it's my Wi-Fi. It's not my Wi-Fi, sorry. It's my camera. My camera's just trying to be blurry. And I'm not even trying to be that guy. Like, I'm not going to stop a stream because you guys don't need to see me that clearly, but it does affect the stream quality when I'm this blurry. Maybe we just need to go... I'm gonna make myself the small screen. We're gonna share my screen, and we're just gonna stay like that for majority of the stream. That's all we're gonna do, yeah. But look, Tottenham versus Villarreal preview. We are here. The champions. And it's the champions. You know one of them ones. Champions League return. Yeah, we got the return of the Champions League. Big business. Yeah, we're big business. That's what time it is right now. And yeah, look, away from that, people, make sure you're liking on the video as you drop in. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. We're on the road to 5K. But I can only do that with your support and your help. So make sure you're telling a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Yeah, it's hurting my eyes. Can't lie, yeah. I can't lie, yeah. This blurting, it's hurting my eyes as well. It's hurting my eyes. If we have any texts in here that might be able to reference to me, then how I can fix this issue. Do you know what? The only other thing I can think of is maybe it's StreamYard. But I'm thinking, let's do this. I've got an idea, people. I've got an idea. I've got a very good idea. Hyper. Cue the intro. No, we're just gonna re-enter. That's what we're gonna do. Another re-entry. I'm sorry, I have to do another re-entry because we need to get this clean. We need to get this clean. This is just people. We're back. I can't lie. Do you know what? Yeah, I was gonna lie about this for a second, but I thought, nah. Do you know what? I'm gonna reveal you, man. I've really got unk status. Yeah, it was as simple as I pressed the wrong button. I went from manual focus to autofocus. I went from auto to manual, so it just wouldn't focus me. But now we're focused. Now, yeah, we're here. We're here. Shit, man. I can't even lie. That was hurting my eyes as well, Hypes. That was We're inside. Big up to everyone that's inside. If you haven't already, if you didn't know, make sure you join the delinquents. Become a member. Tap the pinned comment to become a delinquent. Become a descendant. Join the Royal Navy. Yeah, make sure you become a member of the channel. Like we have so many, it's slowly growing. I think we've got 20 delinquents in the house right now, so the yard is growing. Yeah, we went from a hut to a house. We're trying to go from a house to a mansion. You know what I mean? So look, people, make sure you are going to that pinned comment and tap in the link to become a member. And then also, away from that, scan the QR code right here, because as you should know, this channel is now sponsored by Match Bingo. Make sure you're 18, make sure you're UK resident, and make sure you gamble responsibly, people. Use the scan the QR code or use the link in the pinned comment, promo code DRD. And yeah, man, just have some fun whilst you're gambling. And get in a day like today, Champions League, loads of games. what you can do is buy a bingo card. You get a card like this, 12 teams. As the teams score, you get a purple. If you get a line or two, you get a prize. If you get the whole bingo card, you get a jackpot. Sometimes £5, sometimes, or £500, I should say, sorry. Sometimes £1,000, sometimes more. Whatever the jackpot is, you will win. So look, get involved. Make sure you play, support the channel, but also support the sponsor by scanning that QR code. But look, we're done with all of this stuff. We can now get into the football. Yeah, safety pause, hyper facts. Big up to, do you know what? Let me big up to everyone inside, because the fact that we still got people inside whilst I was just having bare technical problems. And for anyone that's followed me for a while, Mr. Udang and Co and Hyper, you man already know Unk status. But we did actually realize last night on Boardroom Talks that Elijah's Unk. I'm Unk, but he's Unk. He's younger than me, but people think he looks older, so he's Unk. Big up to KJ SJ in the building. That's a real one as well. Big up to Brian Magari. He got his score prediction in nice and early, which I will save when we're reading them out later. Big up Mr. Udang. So big up Jords every single time. Big up to Frosty as well inside. Just hit 90 subscribers. I think we were on 3-0 and Shabby with Kudus and a 1 and a banger from Kolomawane. Randall Kolomawane. Yeah, that's what we like to see. Okay, so and everyone voted for it. So I'm just going to say I have to apologize. I am sorry, people. I did plan to do a watch along, but I have some things to be sorting out because I'm going to be flying out tomorrow now. A very last minute booking and some stuff. I've got some business to attend. But I'm going to be flying out tomorrow in the afternoon. So I've got to do some packing. I've got to sort some stuff out, just logistics and stuff like that. So I'm unable, generally I'm just unable to do the watch along tonight, and I'm not going to be streaming for the rest of the week because I'm going to be away. I might try to do a stream, but with the timing that I'm going to be on, I'm going to be in America. I'm really not too sure on the timings that I'm going to have. So I might stream, I might stream. I'll try jumping, even if it's a half-hour stream. I'll probably stream sometime between this week, but I'm not going to be back until next week. So, yeah, we're going to miss quite a few streams, and you guys might have to miss me for a couple of days. But, look, we are going to be getting in the stream today. We are going to be talking about the game, and we will hopefully enjoy and drop some videos in between that time. So you guys are still going to have some content. Don't worry about that. I'll be editing some videos together, some clips, and you guys will still have stuff coming out. And exactly that. If you do want to go somewhere whilst I am away, make sure you go to Too Much of E. And hopefully he's going to be consistent during that time. You know what I mean? Now, he'll probably be live. So make sure you go to Elijah, man. Elijah can give you, I can't say my opinion. I can't say he can give you my flow or my cadence. I can't say he's got the rev arms. You know what I mean? But he can try. He can try. So go. Man, like Unk, man. Go show Unk some love, innit? That's all I'm saying. Go show Unk some love during the time I'm away. Even when I'm not away, but definitely during the time I'm away if you do want some stuff. Mr. Udang shared something in the chat. Let me just get that up. And we're going to go into some of the lineup builders and all of that. I'm going to need you guys' help to do some of this lineup builder. I want to learn a bit more about this Villarreal team as well. Because I'll be real, I thought we can just do the research together here. I ain't watched Villarreal in a long time. I feel like Europa League, I don't think they was in Europa League last season. I got a feeling they was in Champions League, but I may be wrong. So we'll do some of that as well. Now my football knowledge ain't there, but my videos are better. Yeah, his videos are definitely better in it. My videos tend to just be me chatting or me clipping. He actually edits his videos, so there's no doubt about it. I'm not even gonna question that, people. I'm not gonna lie. But let's see what Mr. Udang has sent in. Bro, they should be getting dealt with, innit? They should be getting dealt with very easy, innit? But it's Unk. It's Unk-E. Like, I'm Unk, but he's Unk. Let's see. Do you know what? This is interesting. I like that you shared with Mr. Udang, because I literally saw this just before we went live, yeah? And it's the Athletic. It's the Athletic talking about some of the regulations and some of the teams and how they may be impacted by financial fair play. Because obviously, when you're competing in Europe as well as the Premier League, you have to adhere to both set of rules. In the Premier League, we have the PSR rules, so the profit and sustainability rules. But in UEFA, they have financial fair play. So if you're competing in both competitions, you have to adhere to both rules. As to why Chelsea end up not spending a whole heap load of money, because PSR, they were fine, but financial fair play, they was not, because they needed to balance their books and make sure that they're not spending way more than what they're selling. But in this article in particular, what we can see is there'll be 9 Premier League clubs playing in Europe this season, meaning 9 Premier League clubs must comply with UEFA spending regulations. Breaching these regulations can lead to significant fines, and if they continue over a sustained period, even a year's ban from European competition. I don't think a year's ban from European competition has happened to any Premier League team in the recent times, but they have had financial bans, transfer bans, but also, as they said, significant fines. And Chelsea recently just got a 10 or 8 million pound fine, on top of the transfer bans that they had previously. It is impossible to state each club's position for certain, but using all the available information, the bookkeeper, C. Weatherspoon, estimates how each matches up to UEFA's 2 tests, which clubs are projected to breach the guidelines, what it all means. If you look at this table, you can see here how the traffic light system works. To the green is deemed safe, amber is assumed safe, but close. Red is where we expect a club to breach. Aston Villa and Chelsea's football earnings are expected to comply with 24 to 25 targets per UEFA settlement agreement. So obviously, UEFA and Chelsea both had settlement agreements as to why they're in the black. But when you look here, the football earnings, Arsenal are fine, but they are hanging in there with the squad cost. Aston Villa and Chelsea are both fine on that sense, but squad, Aston Villa are in a very, very bad place here. Nottingham Forest is the one team to look at because they went out and spent a heck load of money, and we have to be honest, we know Nottingham Forest don't make that much money. A lot of their money comes from either sales over to Boutifago, buyers over to Boutifago, Olympiacos' money. They get money from all their other clubs, and because they're what do we call them? A multi-club ownership, so they're MCO. They can benefit from the owner projecting a lot of cash in there. But in UEFA, in Europe, you can't have your owner just project bare cash into the team and it work out fine. So Nottingham Forest may be looking at another fine. And then obviously Tottenham, we know we're fine. We're in the green, and so are Man City and Liverpool are in a very good place. Crystal Palace rarely spent any money this summer, so I think they'll be in a very good place as well, even for their squad costs. So that's just something that was shared by Mr. Udang. Big up to you, my bro. I was actually looking at this, but look, do you know what? The most important thing, let's get over to here, because we know what everybody wants to know. We want to know what team's going to start. What lineup are we building for this game? How should we set up? And before we do that, I think it's worth to have a look at Villarreal's last couple games. To do that, if we share this screen, let's have a look at some of their last couple games, seeing the way that they set up. Obviously, look, this is the last game they played. They lost 2-0 against Atletico Madrid, and in that game, we saw them with a basic 4-4-2 setup. I've seen Sava talk about this a few times, and what you can see here is with this 4-4-2 setup, it's a little bit unconventional to the set. Well, what is this cap that I'm seeing? What are you talking about? Are you talking about the cap for like financial cap, or are you talking about someone's actually capping on your name? Yeah, he's explaining himself. But big up to Wesley in the building as well. Come on, my bro. Big up to you. Special one. Answer is no. Well, let's see. Never said I didn't rate him. Said he was overpriced when he was being valued at. Who was being valued at 70 million? I'd love to know who was being valued at 70 million. And we 200. Bro, you man are KJ, bro. Stop flexing. Stop flexing, KJ. We know you man are going nice. It's like you man just keep going back to the hood to show your jewels, bruv. Like, we get you got jewels. Go and show your jewels in fucking Hatton Garden, bruv. Go rock your jewels in Hatton Garden and blend in. Stop coming back to the ends. Stop coming back to the block in your fucking your M4 coupe, speeding through the seat back, jewels rocking, rolling on the wrist. Stop it, bro. You're flexing on guys that ain't going like that. Go flex on big man that have got it like that. Go to, Hatton Garden, go Knightsbridge, and walk around with your jewels and chains, and you blend in, bro. You're just one of the crowd. Man keeps coming back to the block. You keep coming back to your block with your jewels, bro. Allow us, KJ, bro. Gee. What's going on, man? Bro, what are these early streams? Bro, Bajan, you clearly aren't used to me. I've been going live between 9 and 11 every day. For the whole transfer window, I was live at 9:30. I was live at 9:30 in the morning for the whole transfer window. I was the first person live. I know that for free. 9 till 10 sometimes. I'm going live at 9 a.m. Hooks is live at 8:30. So Hooks is live when you're sleeping, bruv. When you're awake, like it's 4 a.m. for you, 3 a.m. Hooks is live. But like that's probably why you miss a lot of Hooks' lives nowadays, because Hooks does an early morning live. It's like that. That's the grind, bro. You want to get in before everyone else, you got to do it early live. And to be fair, there's loads of people live right now, so I'm not even the first one. I feel like I went live late today, but yeah, look, getting back into the game. Obviously, what we can see here, I was gonna say it's a very unconventional 4-4-2. Because in this 4-4-2, I feel like it might be a sort of diamond formation. From what I know of these players, Mika, we spoke about him a lot in this window, in this January transfer window, summer transfer window. A lot of people wanted this player, Mika. Yeah, a lot of people put his name in the chat and said that they want him. But the one thing they pointed out about him was he drifts a lot to the wide. The same with Pepe. What I know from Pepe is Pepe likes to create the width. I don't see them both dropping in and trying to create problems for the centre-backs, but both of them create that width, and there's probably going to be a runner from either that Buchanan or Malero. Is this the Buchanan that used to play for? I feel like it was... No, see, this wasn't even the guy I was thinking of. I was thinking of someone else. I was thinking of someone completely different. So they're going to have a quite unconventional setup. But just looking at some of their last couple results, as we said, so we saw they lost 2-0 against Atletico Madrid. We also saw that they've drew 1-1 with Celta Vigo a few weeks ago, just before the international break, and then they beat Girona 5-0, which obviously not a good one. We can see here from experience, though, they did beat Arsenal in a friendly. I do remember that. They did beat Arsenal in a pretty impressive friendly game, but then they lost to Aston Villa in that same week at home. So there's some questionable results there. These are all friendlies, isn't it? So you can only take so much of a friendly and take it with a pinch of salt. But this is their last good performance. And as you can see here, that Buchanan seems to be a bit dangerous. Scored a hat-trick in this game. But look, let's talk about what we're going to do, innit? Because I think you can only know so much about the opposition. One thing I was watching was Amazon Prime uploaded an interview between Michael Carrick and Thomas Frank, and I was watching that this morning, and that's one thing he pointed out quite clearly. With the Premier League, you can go back, you can probably say you've played most of the managers, most of the teams 5 or 6 times, so you have a very good familiarity with how they're going to set up, what they're going to do, what the changes might. You can predict their game plan. With a team like Villarreal, you can only go off what the analysts are telling you, and there's not much that you can predict about how they're going to play. And also, there's not much you can do for preparation because you haven't played this team before. We most definitely haven't in a long while. So it's going to be a game that's tricky tactically for Thomas Frank, but it's going to be interesting to see how he sets up. Does he go safe with some of the players? Does he take a risk? Does he start Kolo Muani? He's obviously a player that a lot of people want to see get some minutes, want to see him make his debut. I don't think he's going to start today. I want to start and premise the whole of my lineup with that. I don't think we see Kolo Muani in the starting lineup. I think he has some questions regarding his fitness, so I think he's going to hold him out. But I do expect to see a debut. I do expect to see a debut today. They do, Mustafa. But let's have it right. A lot of the time that they beat London teams in the years you're talking about was with Unai Emery. Because when Unai Emery was there, I'm pretty sure Unai Emery was the manager that carried them to multiple. Or it might have just been one. I think they just got one Europa League because the Europa League changed with how it was then. But because he was only there for 2 years, I feel like. He was at Villarreal for the one season he won the Europa League. Then the next year he went into the Champions League, I feel like, and they done pretty good, but they weren't that good. So yeah, no, I do hear you. I watch La Liga. And what are they saying for you, Mustafa? Like, what's the team saying for you? You say there's a top 4 or 5 team, but with the way that they play and so on, is there anyone we need to watch out for apart from the obvious Mikatse and Pepe? What's this Buchanan guy saying? He scored a hat trick a couple weeks ago, so I can only assume he's all right. What's the other winger saying? What was his name? Morelios or whatever? Like, what are them man saying? That's what I need. I need to know what's going on over there. But let's fix this formation more than anything, because we're definitely not going 4-4-2. I hate how this website has so many ads. Like, I hate it. Well, do you know what? Nah, do you know what? We're going to do lineup builder, and then we're going to go to E2C tactics. Shout out to Mr. Udang. So we already know what we're going to do over here. This isn't even a question. Vicario in goal. It's got to be Vicario in goal. And then away from that, I can't lie. This is where I start. Obviously, we're going to go, look, back to, again, it chooses itself. I think Romero and Van der Ven are quickly becoming 2 of the best defenders in the league. I highly rate them, but the partnership is really starting to work this season. They're really starting to gel on just getting those minutes together, not fucking killing Van der Ven's hamstrings, doing 100-meter sprints every game. I think we might start to see them have that consistency across the season, hopefully not pick up an injury. We can only pray to the Lord. But then we also have the left back and right back is where I've got some questions, because I'll be honest, I've been really impressed with Jed Spence. People know I praise Spence like no other. You know, I'm loving the shameless welcome to the Jed Penitentiary. I'm loving all of that stuff. Like, I'm so glad that he's starting to take on what us fans actually saying. For one, like we saw just last season, Neil Morpie do some of the shameless stuff and throw back at the fans and the players. And do you know, as much as it was against my team, I loved it. I love to see players get involved, show some arrogance, show the stuff that they would be doing in the dressing room anyway. Because a lot of the players look at this stuff and they'll be saying it, they'll be having banter about it, but they just won't put it out there online themselves. Go put it out there online yourself. Go take the risk. You're gonna get bantered, but that's fine. I see someone say it before. Oh, Jed's just putting himself out there to get bantered. Yeah, but Jed doesn't care if he gets bantered, bro. That's the mentality. A mentality monster doesn't care if somebody else is gonna diss him. That's what you've got to be like. To be these top footballers, if you care about what other people say, you're never going to make it to the top. And I'll be honest, this is why I don't think Brennan Johnson is primed to be a top player. Although you can all talk about his footballing ability, but more than anything, the mentality. If you let DMs and stuff get you down, and do you know what? He did show the resilience to come back and fight. So maybe I'm wrong in it. I might be wrong in trying to call him out for that, because we know he shut down his Insta, he came back and he went on a goal scoring streak. So maybe Brennan Johnson's the wrong example, but for anybody that would make those things and take it to the point that like this is affecting your game, it's affecting how you play, that's not the guys that are going to go to the top level. Jed Spence don't give a crap about what anyone says, man. And big up to him. I think someone says it here, man. Spence, the first Muslim to play for England. That's a massive achievement. Like that's a huge achievement for everybody that's a Muslim. Everybody that grew up in England, that like, because let's have it right. People, we even saw it in my chat yesterday. Like there's this so-called, like people were coming in my chat saying, oh, who are these 3 guys that are dark skinned? It's Spurs, real Spurs fans are white. This is what someone in the chat, and obviously we know we get trolls and stuff, but that would have been the thought in the England team a long time ago, a very long time ago. But it would probably been such a wild thought to think that someone who could be Muslim would be playing for England, the star for England, and potentially be going to the World Cup. Now obviously it's a lot more common, so you'd expect something like this, and it's probably surprising that it's taken so long. But at the same time, it's a huge achievement, man. And for all like the Muslim kids out there and so on, that they're now going to feel like they don't need to not be themselves. They can be themselves and still make it they can still play for a country like England and so on. So look, I might be waffling, but I think it's a huge achievement, and I think it's proper inspirational to a lot of kids out there, man. Shout out to Jed Spence every time, and he's definitely one of the top left backs in the Prem right now. And the fact that he's a right-footed left back and he's one of the best is crazy. It's crazy. Ronnie drops his team here though. Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie, Benzcourt, Bergbaum, Sarr, Simmons, Richie, Kudus. Very good team. Very similar to what I was thinking as well, but we're going to go into some of these players. I forgot. All right, bro. Let's not even talk too much about TP5, bro. Let's not even talk too much about TP5. Bro, it was mad. It was mad. All right, bro. Do you know what it is, E? You already know what it is, E. I'm just trying to be politically correct. I'm not trying to push no narratives or motions or anything like that, but you know what I mean, innit? You know what I mean. Like, I'm not trying to, yeah, but it's inspirational, innit? That's all it is. It's very inspirational. Big up to Drula, the fellow Spurs Mo. How you doing, Drula? Big up Jords in the chat. Let us know your thoughts, Drula. Who's starting today? Do you have a secret drop for us? Xavi Simons in the 10, maybe? Do you know something that we don't? Let us know. Let us know, Drula. Always a pleasure to have you in here. Light 30 says they can beat Spurs. They're not shit, and you're probably right. They aren't good, and I'm actually worried about this game. Tottenham Rangers got Vicario, Dogi, Kuti, Vanavan, Spence, Paulinho, Bergvall, Xavi Odebert, Richie, and Kudus. It's an interesting team again. I think some of these players are definitely ones that I would agree with. Bergvall has to start. Big up to Solo Kane in the building. Bergvall had a very, very good game. Now, let's start off there. I think Udogie needs to start. At left back, I've got Udogie. I really want to see Udogie in this team, in this setup, get some full 60, 70 minutes, because I feel like whenever he comes on, he looks really good in those patches, looks really positive, always tries to take it down the left-hand side. And if Xavi Simons is playing on the left today, you've actually got someone that will go on the overlap a lot more effective than Jed Spence will, especially with him using his left foot. And plus, I'll be honest, I think he's a better attacker than Jed Spence is down that left-hand side. So I'm going to go Udogie down the left. I think I'm going to go Porro on the right, simply just because I think Spence could do with a rest. I think Spence could do with a rest. I think Pedro Porro is just... He gives you such a solid performance, just in general. Very rare for him to drop a stinker at the moment. And I think he doesn't get enough credit. I'll be honest, I don't think Pedro Porro gets enough credit for how good of a player he is. I know I was a heavy critic of him last season because he was doing grenade launcher football, but I felt like due to us losing so many games, he probably had the onus of, look, you're one of the best strikers of the ball. You're one of the guys that are more senior in the team. Make something happen. And obviously, a few times it worked. Burnley in the FA Cup, he rasped it top bins and it pulled off. And there's obviously a couple other crosses, a couple other goals that are really important from him. But for his actual general play, he is one of our best players. Like, he's not the greatest of right backs positionally, defensively, but as a player, as an actual football player, technically and so on, and especially going forward, he's very intelligent. And he's so damn good with the cross, with the pass, with the shoot. He's good. So I'd really want Pedro Porro to start on that right wing. Man said the people in here know ball except me. Elijah keeps trying to run this gimmick that he doesn't know ball. And yesterday I heard him doing tactical breakdowns on the Bournemouth game. He's going, so you see on a dice, yeah, you see the 5 on the dice where they play a 2-1-2. That's how Bournemouth were pressing us. They were pressing us in a 2-1-2 formation, and we were set up with a 4-1-1-1 formation. If we were doing that, the problem is that when we get the ball here, there's not... Man thought he was Gary Neville for a second. Man thought he was on Monday Night Football, cuz. But this guy's going to sit here and tell you don't know ball. Oh, I'm a casual. This is exactly what he was doing. This is exactly what he was doing. It's crazy because how can you be a casual? Because he was sitting there doing a tactical ball. You know what everybody clowned Thomas Frank for doing? If he had a board, yeah, he was doing all this. He's like, look, so the setup at the back's the 4. Yeah. So you see when they were pressing us, they're pressing us in this formation of a 2-1-2. Like the formation on a dice. We're trying to build out from the back, but we couldn't build out from the back because every time we get on the ball, these 2 players are pushing our fullbacks too high, and we're being left with the 2 centre-backs back here and Paulinho in the cap trying to pick up the space. But because Paulinho is not good on the ball, yeah. He can't run this gimmick that he don't know ball. Stop trying to run this gimmick, bro. Stop trying to run this gimmick, bro. Man said trying to look busy out. Elijah the tactical, bro. Man become a tactical for a second. Man become a tactical for a second. No one cooks you for that. Nobody cooked you for that. I thought you done a very good tactical breakdown. I think you was right with the tactical breakdown. I just think your criticism of Frank was wrong for him reacting to it. You said he reacted too late when he made substitutions 9 minutes after half time. Like, I think, like Jay said, I think there is a point of, and this isn't me going at you, Elijah. I generally think, like, when you've been in a dressing room before, just in general, if you don't have to play at high level, you can play fucking academy football or something. Even I would say Sunday league, but Sunday league's too casual. Like, they don't take the game serious enough. But if you play a team where it's actually taken serious to some extent, you know, everybody's actually wanting to win. You're in a league, like a proper league, not a Sunday league, but Saturday. Let's say Saturday football. You'd understand that, like, what a manager doesn't make changes at half time or before half time a lot of the times because the morale that it does for the players. You also don't want to have an unhappy player in the dressing room, because an unhappy player straight after the game is someone that's going to be chatting shit to everyone after the game, going, oh, the manager this, slagging him off. And you just don't want to start all that discontent. So what you do at half time a lot of the time, say, look, I need to see change. This is not good enough. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to see that change. If you don't see that change within the first 5 to 10 minutes, you make a sub. There's some managers that give you way longer, like we saw with Ange, that do like a 20, 30 minutes before they start making that change. Even Arteta. But Frank's someone that reacted very quickly. So that's why I felt like the criticism was too much. But we went into all of that last night. On that business. But yeah, that's not me saying, you know, oh, you guys that sit at home don't know ball, because you don't have to play ball to know ball and to break down a fucking game, fam. You can watch football and break down a game just from watching it. But I just think there's certain factors about, like, dressing room morale that you probably wouldn't understand. Certain people won't be able to understand if you've never been in that scenario. Just like nobody could tell you how to do your fucking job at work if they've never done your job before, but they've just watched from the sidelines. Nobody could tell you how to be a fucking security guard. If you've never been a security before, they're going to tell you how to pat someone down, or, like, if you pat someone down in a certain way, how they might get a reaction. They're like, no, but you just got it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just little things, isn't it? Like, it's things that don't really count for actually, it's not things you can see. It's just the impact mentally, innit? If you guys get what I mean. But yeah, that's all it is. I don't think only I know ball. I don't think only I know ball. I think I know ball to a decent level. I think there's loads of people that know ball way more than me, innit? I can say that for free. There's certain people that I watch and I'll be like, bro, their tactical breakdowns are levels above mine. Levels above mine. Like, the one guy that I like to watch for Spurs is Kish. If anybody knows about Kish, Lilywhite Spurs or Spurs Lab, Lilywhite Spurs Lab or something. Yeah, he's cold. His tactical breakdowns are cold. I want to be able to break down games tactically like that, but I just probably need to learn and pick it up, innit? Like, Deji will give you the most. And again, if you want entertainment, you go to Deji. Deji can also tactically break down a game. He just chooses not to. Because I've had those talks with Deji before where you talk about that, but you just choose not to. Like, sometimes you don't. But big up to Julia. Says, Mustafa, I'm confident in Frank. He's got the tactical know-how to set the team up and right and break down a low block. But yeah, Deji does know ball. He knows ball very well. I think some people just, as I said, they take the comic side or comedian side a bit too serious sometimes. But look, back to the team. Hey, look who we've got here, man. Look who we've got here. It's Ashley back in the building with a new name. Mike Raw Riz to the door. What the fuck does that even mean, bro? Change your name, bro. Change your name, bro. You ain't even got a real name. You can't spell. You spelled my name wrong. You spelled Johnson wrong. You spelled fraudulent wrong. Like, bro, either your fingers are too big for your screen or you generally need to go back to school. Like, you spelled nothing. Raw Riz. Not like, what are we doing here? Bro, go back to school, fam. Shit. You might read that message. Did you man read that message? I look like a 10-year-old typed that out, bruv. If you're 20 years old or 20 plus, even 8, bruv, if you're 16 plus and you type like that, you need to go back to school, fam. Go back to school. Or maybe you're in school, you're just in like the unit or something. Like, they just sent you to the seclusion room all the time, so you didn't learn. But man said Raw Riz, fam. Aye, don't fucking kill me, man. Don't kill me. But in the DM, I'm gonna go Bentancur. I think we're gonna need somebody. I think we're gonna need somebody to really help us. And this goes to what Elijah was saying the other day. Yeah, is about playing it out from the back and having somebody that can progressively move the ball out. I think in a game like this, where it's going to be a bit more slower pace, you might need someone who can get on the ball a little bit more and break it down. Now, I won't be mad. I will say this. I won't be mad if he goes Paulinho and Bentancur again, because it is a Champions League game. You probably do want to set up with the best midfield possible. But I'd like to see Bentancur start. And then I'm going to be honest, as much as I'd generally like to see Bergvall start again. Or do you know what? Let's go to the first midfield. I'm going to think it's going to have to be Sarr. Sarr has been too good to drop. Sarr for me is undroppable at this moment. Sarr is undroppable. And I think for the Frank system, he's generally proven to be one of the most perfect players for what we need. He gets around the pitch, 8-8, box-to-box midfielder. He's adding the goals to his game. He's adding that late run into the box, also becoming an aerial threat. Good on the tackle. He's one of those guys that just give you a solid at every single facet to the game. He can carry the ball, but he's an excellent carrier of the ball. He can pass the ball, but he's not an excellent passer of the ball. He can tackle really good. He can intercept. He's got those long legs, so he covers ground. More than anything, one of his best attributes is just being able to cover the distance across the pitch. He's someone that when they're on a counter-attack, he's going to cover ground, get back, cover that right-hand space. So like I feel like Pat Sarr has to play this game and then potentially for Brighton get dropped. I think it might be Brighton, we drop him and we throw Bergvall back in there. But look, I'm gonna go for Xavi in the 10 today. I'm actually gonna go Xavi in the 10 today. I think Xavi is gonna be the player that starts for this game in that number 10. I think he might opt for a more natural winger out on the left, but more than anything, if not a natural winger, I think if you have Xavi in the 10, now, people know I'm not a massive fan. I'm really not a massive fan. But I think if you put Xavi in the 10, the one player that you might want to play, and this might be controversial for some, and I know I put out a tweet yesterday and a lot of people hated what I said because I'll show you guys the tweet soon, but I think it might be Jono. I think if you've got Xavi in that 10, you've now got someone that can play thread these passes through. When we go to the tactical side of things, we're actually going to go through some of this, yeah, because I want to do some tactics. I want to talk about how Xavi can impact the game in that 10, where he's going to pick up the ball and so on, and how we can, you know, break down this Villarreal team. But I think we go Johnson on the left. I think Johnson could definitely be a player we go to on that left, and he could be a problem today. Also, I think because he hasn't started in the last 2 games. Is it 2 games? No, he started against Bournemouth. Didn't start the last game only. Shit, he started 3 games in a row. I just think, I feel like Johnson's going to play. I would have said Odegaard, but I think Johnson's still ahead of Odegaard in the pecking order simply due to his ability to pick up a goal. You need goal scorers in your team, and ultimately Johnson is that. So I think Johnson might be the player to go for here. These ads are like relentless, man. Like they don't take a fucking break. Like man said, players running away from the ball in a new tactic. Well, I don't actually think you get how football works, Mr. Rumours. Yes, players like Brennan Johnson do run away from the ball. That's exactly what he does. Xavi gets onto the ball. His job, like Thomas Frank has highlighted, is deep runs, getting in behind the defender. He's not good with the ball at his feet, but you know where he is good? Is getting behind the defender and having action in this area of the pitch. Everywhere ahead of this little line here is where Brennan Johnson has some action. So you get somebody to play. Do you know what? I want to get this. Fuck this. We're going to go into this tactic. We're going to go to the tactic board real quick because clearly raw Riz don't understand how the game works. So we're gonna have to talk about how this setup for Brennan Johnson could work. So let's go to the tactics board for a second, yeah. We got our 3 midfielders. So as we can see here, you got the 4-3-3, yeah. Let's just push these players up slightly. Let's get them in lines of the pitch because that's sort of where you want to see these players. Let me sort the 9 and the 10 so it don't bug me out, man. We get the 9 over there. We get our number 7 here. Our number 11 out here. Our number 10 just here. And then our number 8 slightly over here. Or I should say like this more. Yes. Let's go like that. So, when you look at the Tottenham team and how we're going to set up, the reason I want Brennan Johnson Yeah. How do I get this little scribble up? Where he is? Trust me, this board. Big up to Mr. Udang for plugging me with this one. Pause, but this thing is cold. I just need to remember how I was playing around with it the other day. I was finding all the drawing lines and shit. I just need to find it all again because there's bare stuff. Look at this. I didn't even know they got a Champions League one. Yeah, we got the players. Yo, we're seeing this. But more than anything, what I was talking about was Xavi Simons will get on the ball, yeah. Oh, right. When Xavi Simons gets on the ball, a lot of the times he picks the ball up in these left half spaces. If you look at his heat map, not just for in that game for Spurs where he's playing on the left wing, but even for Leipzig, all of his heat map happens in this area of the pitch. No, I don't want that. It happens in this area of the pitch. So what you want him to do is when he drops in a little bit deeper to pick up this ball, Brennan Johnson's going to be making this run. He's going to be making the run in behind the defenders in this space. The one player you want who can pass the ball through. And when we have Sarr and Bergvall, the one thing they lack is when they get on the ball, a lot of the time they're looking to move it sideways, and opt for that pass out here to either play Porro, who's going to get into Kudus's feet, or you get into Kudus out here on the touchline, who's then going to run at his man down this wing. But when you've got Xavi, you've now got a player who's going to pick up the ball in this area. You're also going to have Udogie good in the overlap, giving Brennan Johnson that freedom to sort of come as a second striker at times. He can come inside and act as another option with Richarlison, who I think is going to be playing up top today, to sort of make a front two. Now, that's only when we're in attack. But when we're countering and we're getting on that ball, you want to see Xavi get on it and then make these passes straight. It's as simple as that, just making these straight passes down the line to create that option for Jono to pick up the ball here. Now, we know, again, with him playing on the left-hand side, how it actually betters for him is when he finishes and when he gets on the ball, especially when he's in behind of a defender, his body opens up facing the goal. Because the goal, if you get the ball on the left-hand side, the goal's always going to be facing you this way. Whenever he got it on the right-hand side, the problem with the angle was he'd get it here and the keeper's, he has to go across the goalkeeper and he has to shoot across the goalkeeper, which is just making it harder because you have to have a really good finish, or as we see, the keeper's going to get to it because he's diving across goal. He can cover the majority of the goal. Plus, as we saw a lot in the first season, whenever Johnson did get out on this right-hand side, what he was able to do quite effectively was just do a lot of crosses along the floor into Richarlison, who finished. Them two had a pretty good link up in that first season. Now, with Kudus out on this right-hand side, we know what Kudus is going to do because Kudus is just going to be working his man. I know I didn't complete the lineup, but let's just confirm, of course, for those of you who don't know, we're going to have Kudus out on the right. 100% is going to be Kudus on the right. And then we have Richie up top, yeah? So if you didn't know already, we're going to do Richie up top, Kudus out right. So that's the team. I should have just finished the team before I started doing all that in it, but that's the team. That's the team that I'm talking about, yeah? And this is the team that I think is probably the best for us to set up with for our first game. I think Richie needs to come back into the lineup. Just give him a full 60, 70 minutes before we see Kolo Muani potentially come on. And when Kolo Muani comes on, I'd also expect potentially maybe Brennan Johnson to come off as well. So you see a double change up top. Maybe Muani off, Odobert on, and Muani on, Odobert on. Or if you want to be a bit more safer, you could go Muani on, and then you could throw in Bergvall. You could throw in Paulinho. And then you drop into a midfield three, have Xavi shift out onto the left. That's the one thing I like about having Xavi is he now gives us the option to now put him out on the left and just have a more solid and more compact midfield. Because there's going to be certain games where we need to just shore it up. Certain games where we need to just shore it up. Like we saw against West Ham, we're going to have a robust team. We need to have legs in there. We need to have combative midfielders in there. Guys that are going to slow and break the game down, but also slow it down. Cause a lot of fouls, stop, start. And when you're up and you're winning, that's exactly what you want to see from your midfield. So this is the team that I think. Let me know your thoughts on this team if you think this is the right team. And we'll go back to some of the tactical setups and what I think more how Spurs could also take advantage of the different players that we're going to be using today. But let me catch up with the chat because I know I'm quite far behind. Johnson playing one-touch footy with Xavi, more chances of pigs flying, mate. I don't think it's going to be one-touch football. I think what's going to happen is Johnson's just going to be using he's going to be able to make a lot of dummy runs off the back of Xavi, because Xavi will pick up the ball in that left-hand space. So if Xavi's drifting out wide to pick up the ball, it's going to cause Johnson to come inside. We already know Johnson's an inside forward. He's not a winger. So you're putting Johnson in spaces where he's going to be a lot more comfortable with the ball, and he's going to be in a lot more dangerous positions. You don't want Johnson high on the touchline receiving the ball at his feet. You want Johnson receiving the ball, like running onto the ball, I should say, into the box. So that's how it is for me, innit? Brennan's definitely starting. Yeah, that's the thing. Brennan is probably going to start. But it's still so funny that this post is going mad. Rumours is still going mad. Did you know we had more shots on our goal at 51 to others? I don't even know what you're on about, bruv. Like, I don't even know what you're on about. Match bingo money coming in. Jords got a tactical board now. Life's different. No, like, I can't. There's no match bingo plug for that one. That was just Mr. Udang, bro. Shout out to Mr. Udang, bro. That's it. You have to give a man credit when credit is due. There's only one man that deserves the credit for that. I need to be honest. And let's give him his flowers. Mr. Udang was sending me a couple. I think he sent me 2 or 3, and then he was like, "Yo, this one." You get a lot of bro. There's everything on here. I promise you. You can make goals. You can put balls in the pitch. You can do everything. Man said get a job with Frank's backroom staff. Calm down, bro. I don't think I ain't got the minerals for that one, innit? I ain't got the minerals just yet. Durag Diaries, big up to K's, man. Big up to K's. Ali in the building. Kudus gets all the attention from the defenders. And Big Lebowski gets it. Big Lebowski gets it. That's what Kudus done so well on the weekend, and a lot of people get onto Kudus, yeah, because I think they have high expectations on him getting some mad GA. Not all players need to get GA. One of my favorite wingers that I've ever seen for Spurs is Aaron Lennon. Do you want to go look at Aaron Lennon's GA? Should we go look at Aaron Lennon's GA? Because I feel like people actually don't realize how much of a not GA player he was. I think in his best season for Spurs, he might have scored. Look, let's check in his whole Spurs grip. We're going to do all seasons for Tottenham, yeah? We're going to do his whole seasons for Tottenham, yeah? This is what we're going to do. And you're going to see how GA really doesn't mean that much. Because Aaron Lennon was one of the most feared wingers in the league at that time. One of the most feared wingers in the league. Because people knew whenever they're coming up against him, it was going to be a techie game. It was going to be a mad game. So if you want to look at his stats here, his best ever season was 10 assists. Sorry, let me zoom right in. His best ever season was 10 assists in 2010. Away from that, look, 5 and 5. Yeah? 3 and 3. 34 games, by the way. It wasn't like he was getting long. 3 and 5. 4 and 8. He wasn't getting no mad numbers. 2 and 1. Like 3 and 8. Boy, he wasn't getting no mad numbers, but guess what? He was damn sure effective. He was damn sure effective on that wing, just like Kudus. He beats his man. He causes a lot of distraction. He makes the whole defense shift over to the right-hand side because he's always going to beat his man. And they need to try and make it a 2v2, 2v1 at times. So they're going to get 2 players to mark Kudus. But they're going to get 1 player to mark him and then someone to mark the space that potentially he's going to beat his man and get into. So when they do that, the centre-backs shift over, leaving all that space down on that left-hand side. Brennan Johnson's going to be able to run into that and he's going to be able to create some problems. So I think in a game like this, Brennan Johnson could potentially be dangerous. He could potentially be dangerous, man. You Spuds best win this week or I will be circling back. Wesley, you best win this week. You're forgetting you're playing Atletico Bilbao 5:45. You're playing before us, Wesley. The pressure is on you, not me. First assistant coach for Durag on the for real. You know, if I was actually on a touchline, you know my Durag is on. Man's going to have the durag on the top. I'm going to have a durag in a suit. Man, I may never seen someone with a durag in a suit, yeah? But I'll have a durag in a suit. You ain't seen it, man. Trust me. Trust me. Kudus has a rocket left foot. Surprised he's not shooting as much of it, but he's still cold. He does. And you know what it is? I feel like Kudus, because, like I say, the whole defense shift over to that right-hand side, whenever he ends up cutting in, it's so crowded that it's probably best for him to just pass it off to someone else. And look, if you're not going to be the goal scorer, that's fine. Just be the creator for me, man. Kudus has been working on his crossing, and wow, it looks really good. He now needs to rediscover his scoring back to his GA before last season, where we are good to go. But you know what? I think where he's going to get a lot of space in this game, I think there's going to be a lot more space Hey, I think we got a raid. We must have got a raid because I'm seeing the numbers go flying up. Who raided us? Who raided up the channel? Let me check. Let me check. Like we got a big raid. Hey, big up to everyone that's come over. I'm still trying my everything. Hey, big up to South Raid. Big up to Football Heritage TV every single time, man. Sava, as I say, very, very good guy. Always supporting, always sharing love. Make sure you guys are supporting Football Heritage TV. They're vastly growing. I'm not gonna lie, vastly growing. Soon to be on 30K. It's like he hit 20K just last week. That's what it feels like. But it's soon to be on 30K. And why, look, people, make sure you guys are supporting Football Heritage TV. But also, if you have just come over from Football Heritage TV, I'd appreciate if you could support me too. Because as you can see above my head, right here, we are on the road to 5K. We are on the road to 5K. I can only do it with your support, with your help. So I'd appreciate if you guys can sub up if you haven't already as you come over. And make sure you like the stream, man. 145 likes in the moment. We used to aim for 75, but it seemed like the likes after the transfer window, people ain't too happy. So 50 is good for me right now. You know, I'm just a humble brother. 50 is fine. But look, we are going through some of the lineups, how we predict for us to set up. We're going to go through some score lines real soon. We're going to get around to all of that, but I'm just catching up with the chat. So I'll get around to everything you guys have got to say. If you've got any questions, throw it into the chat now. I'm literally just scrolling through, so I'll probably get around to you guys in the next 5 or so minutes. Any questions, anything that you want to know, any thoughts, even if you want to express your thoughts on this potential lineup that I've set up. This is my favorite lineup, what I would like to see today. Also what I'd expect to see, but I wouldn't be surprised if Xavi starts on the left. But this is what I think how it could potentially start. And then also for those of you who don't know, memberships are available. Yeah, you go to the pinned comment, you can become a member, you can join the Royal Navy or the Royal Delinquents, as we call them over here. Become a descendant, become a delinquent. Tap the pinned comment now. You know, one of them ones. But yeah, man, look, Brennan Johnson hurts my eyes. It's not just you, Wesley. I think he hurts a lot of Spurs fans' eyes and a lot of football fans' eyes. But ultimately, he is a player that's effective. So you got to use him when you can sometimes. You generally just got to make the most of it and try to get something out of him. Big up to Star Crow. That's a member in the house. Yeah. Big up Jay Spurs says, I hear you. Not going to lie, Frank sets up like this. He's on forward watch. I'm with my guy E. What do you mean? Why do you not like this setup? Why do you not like this setup? I still think Johnson's a better right winger because he does not cross well on the left. He don't cross well on the left, but if he's shooting more, I think he will do better on that side. Certain teams are actually champions in the Champions League. Wesley, some teams just have that European heritage, unlike some. You know, one of them ones just... All right. You know, like, just flick the chest. Some people have European heritage. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, people just do one of them one. Flick off the shoulder, yeah, flick on the shoulder. Yeah, you made Lennon go outside. All right, bro. I was so upset when you made Lennon go out like that. Because you know what the darkest thing is? We chose Lennon. We chose Nasir Chadli over Lennon. We chose, and I rated Nasir Chadli, but with the fact that we chose Nasir Chadli over Lennon is dark. Dark, bro. Lennon's a Spurs legend for me. Facts. Spurs legend, bro. Especially because I grew up in the Lennon era. It's a Spurs legend for me, bro. Did you know Richie still has the most GA in 4 games? It's mad. It's mad. I actually heard Richie has one of the best goal to game ratios in the Premier League right now. That's one thing I heard. Or goals to games, or goals to starts, I should say. Goals to starts ratio. He should have, KJ. You're not long. How many completed dribbles and cross success rate? Are you talking about are you talking about Jamie? Lennon potentially. Big up to everyone that put the Savarade in the chat though, man. Big up. Appreciate you guys. For real, Justin, Lily, Andrew Burnett, you already know it is. Chris LaPlante, Archer, Phil P. Big up to Phil P, man. I remember Phil P showing his support on We Are Tottenham TV when I made my debut over there. So big up to Phil every single time. Big up to the Wolves FI. Come on, my bro. People don't know Spurs and Wolves have a little connection, man. Well, I say a connection. the last time Spurs won a European trophy before the season, we smacked Wolves up in the final. So I wouldn't say a connection, but you know what I mean? Big up to the Wolves fans, man. Big up to Cassia, Wise Guy, C-Max, everyone, man. Big up to everyone that came over from the Sava. Raid, the man, the myth, the legend, Jords. All right, come on, P, man. Come on, bro. First time seeing you in... I feel like I've seen you in a chat. Was you not in a chat yesterday in Dragit? Feel like you might have been in the chat yesterday, but I might be wrong. I genuinely might be wrong. So if I am wrong, respect to you as well. It's good to have you here. But new subscriber, big up to Cole. Big up to Cole. We got a new sub in the house. That's what we like to see. Appreciate you, my bro. Get them likes and subscribes done, people, as J Sim says there. I can't lie, the Rainbow Spurs, the Rainbow Spurs badge looks cold. But you would like to see Johnson? No, so it's. Do you know what? I would. I'm just gonna say that I would like to see Johnson. Yeah, I think Johnson could be effective today. Now, I personally prefer Odegaard. So when you talk about my thoughts on Odegaard, I think Odegaard is the player. I think Odegaard's better. I think he's cleaner on the ball. He's really good when he could take it left, he could take it right. But we have to be honest. Who's closer to being the finished article, Johnson or Odegaard? I think it's got to be Johnson. I think Odegaard has struggled because he didn't get that year under Ange. You have to remember, he joined last summer. He got injured after 3 or 4 games because I think it was just before the Coventry game. So around this time last season, he got injured a month into the year. Was out up until March or February. Came back and had a little bit impact. But even then, when he come back, the dressing room was in a completely different place. At the start of the season, happy, all-go-lucky Spurs. Come on, we want to achieve, we want to do big things this year. And at the end of the season, it was like, yeah, like this ain't that good. So he come into a team that was just playing really, really bad. So I think Odegaard probably needs another full season, which will be this year, to actually develop with the team and start to find his feet. So honestly, I'm with taking time for Odegaard. We spent 23 million on him. Let's take our time. Let's see if he can bide his way into this team. But let's not force him into the team and try to put too much pressure on him too early. He's a very good player, but he needs to work on his crossing and his finishing because he doesn't look dangerous whenever he beats him. He beats his man, but he's not clinical enough to actually do something with the ball to make something happen. And that's why I think a lot of people are frustrated with him when they watch him because he looks like he has all the ability, but it's like he gets to the final third and stops. Whereas Tell is the complete opposite, and so is Johnson. Johnson doesn't have all the ability. But when he gets to the final third, he knows what to do. He's either going to cross or shoot. Sometimes the ability is not there, but he's got the intention. Tell actually has the ability to cross or shoot. It's just getting into the right positions. And to be fair, I think it's just being confidence for Tell, man. I think it's just being confidence. So, yeah, man, I hear you guys. I hear you guys with the Johnson and Odegaard arguments. Like, it's a very good argument. It's one that I've had for a while. But I think for this one, we're going to go Jono, man. Question, but before we go to the question, big up to Phil people. That's super chat. Yeah, big up to Phil, man. Nothing but love, Jords. Woo! Man done a Ric Flair. If you don't know, you got to get to know. Yeah, but it's the Flash Boy. Woo! Yeah. All right, 1972, that was it. Not in 1984, 1972 UEFA Cup final. You're right, UEFA Vegetable. But question, oi! Should Spurs parade the Europa League trophy before the game tonight? I don't think we should parade it. Because that'd be very shameless. You know what I mean? Like, we've already done a walk around of the stadium. But I think it would be nice at the start of the game. Just, you know how they have the Champions League trophy there? In the Champions League final, you have the trophy as you walk out. I'm just saying, on the side of the pitch, just have the Europa League trophy there. Just remind everybody that's in the stadium. For one, remind Villarreal, we are the champions, yeah? We got that badge. Europa League winners badge. Yeah, you have to remember the Champions League badge is different. Our badge ain't like yours. So when they say get the badge in, it hits different over these sides. Yeah, it hits different when they say let's get the badge in. I ain't talking stony. But it might be a bit shameless to walk around the stadium and do a show and tell like of the trophy for last year's. So yeah, I do agree with you in some extent. I do agree. It would be nice. It'd be rather shameless too. But I'd like to see Richarlison on the left, Kudus right, and Mawani up front. I'll be honest, Steve. I think it's just a bit too early for Mawani to start. I think Frank's a bit hesitant to start him, just simply off the back of, he's just not match fit. He's just not match fit. He's not played since the Club World Cup, not the World Cup, the Club World Cup, and that was 3 months ago now. Maybe 2.5 if he played into July, but ultimately he needs to get his match sharpness up. He needs to get his fitness up. He needs to fit in with the team chemistry wise, but also positionally, how he's going to be used and how he's going to be a bit effective in the game. So yeah, man, I think Mawani will start to get some starts after the next international break. I don't expect it to be any time before then, I'll be honest. Haig says he's a bit anxious, and I hear you. It's first Champions League game in a while. For some, it might be we ain't played Champions League since Conte. Last Champions League game was AC Milan when we went out to a 0-0. So I remember the first game being a 1-0. And then we lost, then we drew 0-0 in what could have been the worst game of football I've ever seen in the Champions League. It was so boring. I remember being so up for that game. I was talking about how Spurs going to teach Milano and that Conte is going to return to the San Siro looking for blood. And bro, there was no blood, no nothing. Like, it was an awful, awful game. And to be fair, I've got a feeling that might have been the game that Conte missed due to him being ill, or maybe because Gianno Vialli had passed away. I can't remember. I know there was a period at that time, but it just wasn't good. Let's just say that. It just wasn't good, man. It was awful, that game. It was honestly awful. But Johnson gets you the goals. The main reason he is an important player in the team. Facts. Big facts there. Durag debuts. Big up to Kengas, man. We need Rwanda, Congo, Mali. Rwanda, Congo, Mali is crazy. Man just called him 3 African countries. I was like, yeah, black man, Rwanda, Congo, Mali. And it actually sounds like his name. That's what's mad. It actually sounds like his name. I think, yeah, that's what I agree with you, Star. I think he takes too long at times. What for? It's the Champions League. No, I mean, badge it up, bruv. Badge it up. Get the badge in. Side of the pitch settings for our cup. That's what I'm saying. If it's on the side of the pitch, it works. Just to have a trophy stand on the side of the pitch, that's enough. And that's where I'm at, Archer. That's exactly where I'm at. I love that badge, by the way. I've seen that is the new, that's the old badge. Because obviously we made a new version of that, but that's the old one. I'm pretty sure that's cold. I wish Spurs brought that back on one of the kits, honestly. No, Jords, Conte was there. Yes, you're right. Man brought on Davinson Sanchez when we were chasing a goal. I'm pretty sure he brought on Sanchez and Emerson, or Emerson might have started. But you are right. He brought Davinson Sanchez onto the pitch when we were chasing a goal, bruv. That's when I was like, yo, I think I was done with Conte ball before then. Those Chelsea games finished me when we started with a 3 at the back and our 2 wing backs. And our 2 wing backs were we had Emerson, Doherty, Sessegnon, Tanganga, and a couple of others, man. And a couple of others. But hey, crap! I just remembered. I've got to go over to Jay, who's just reminded me, we got a stream. Predictions. I went on a run after that Milan home loss. Yeah, that wasn't. Do you know what? The one thing I do remember from that game, or from that Milan games, was Pat Sarr started his first game in those Milan ones, and that was the first I seen. We had a Sarr and Skip midfield, and Sarr looked class. That was the first game where I started to look at Sarr, and I was like, yo, Sarr, this guy, I really like Sarr, you know. He's cold. And I really started to believe in the player of what was Pat Sarr. So, yeah, look, people, for me, prediction-wise, I'm going to go 2-1 Spurs. Unbeaten at home in our last 20 in Europe. I think Spurs are going to get another win. I think it's going to be tight. They might even take a 1-goal lead. But I think it's going to get nitty-gritty Thomas Frank's going to make the right changes. We're going to have too much attacking players that we can bring on, because even if it doesn't work out at the start, we've got players that we can now bring off the bench that can make that impact. So I think Spurs are going to win. I got Spurs winning, return to the Champions League. As we say, we're going to see that little thing right below, right here. We're going to see all of that. It's just it hits different. Champions League night at White Hart Lane, they just hit different. But Star Crow's got a 2-1 to the Spursy. Drop your predictions in the chat now, guys. Drop your predictions in the chat. Nice and early, we had Brian say Villarreal 4-1 Tottenham. Madness. I think that's a Chelsea fan. 2-0, our clean sheet run continued. Big up to Steve Jones. KJSJ's got us winning 3-2. And then we got Phil P doing a 2-0 for the Spurs. Daniel doing a 3-1 for the Spurs. Godfrey doing 2-1 Villarreal. Is that copium, Godfrey? I know you know better than that, but that's fine. Anyone else want to drop in their predictions before I head over to Jay's channel? Make sure you stay right here, though, because I'm gonna redirect you over to Jay. We're going to be doing some cave conversations. We're going to continue more this talk. We're going to be doing a lot more this talk. I generally just let time get away with me. I forgot I was supposed to be over there 15 minutes ago. I think when Sava raided me, I was just like, yo! I was gassed for a second. And I forgot that we need to finish the show. But yeah, look, people, big up to everyone inside. Appreciate it. Maximum Dan, 2-0 Spurs. We don't concede like that anymore. That's what we see. And that's what we love. Big up to Phil. Appreciate you every time, man. And big up to everyone inside. But look, literally, stay right here. Don't go nowhere. We're going to continue the stream just on another channel. Just on another channel. We're going to continue the stream. So stay right here, people. I did say 3-1 Spurs, but now thinking 2-0. Big up to you, Archer. I'm going to send you over to Jay. Make sure you drop a DRD raid in the chat. Let him know you come over from the boy. And yeah, man. Join us over there right now. 2 seconds.